You didn't end up alone because something went wrong. You ended up alone because something went right, and God is the one who arranged it. Right now, there's a version of your life that looks broken from the outside. The calls stopped coming, the circle got smaller, some people you loved walked out, and a few you trusted turned their backs. And in the quiet of all that, you started asking God, why does this keep happening to me? But here's the thing, you've been asking the wrong question. The real question is, what is God building in the space they left behind? Because isolation in the hands of God is never punishment, it's preparation. Think about every man and woman in Scripture who carried a divine assignment. Moses, 40 years in the wilderness before he ever stood before Pharaoh. Joseph, thrown in a pit, sold into slavery, locked in prison, forgotten. David, anointed king, then hunted like a fugitive across the hillsides of Israel. None of them understood what was happening while it was happening. None of them had a clear picture. All they had was God, and somehow that had to be enough. That's exactly where you are right now. See, God doesn't isolate people He's done with. He isolates people He's not finished with yet. There's a difference between being abandoned and being set apart, and it matters because one leads to despair and the other leads to destiny. The enemy wants you convinced it's the first one. That's why the silence feels so loud. That's why the loneliness feels so permanent. But silence is where God does His deepest work, and it's never louder than when He's saying something that only you need to hear.
Here's what nobody tells you about the season you're in. When God is preparing someone for something significant, He strips away everything that competes for their attention. Your old friends aren't always villains. Some of them were just assigned to a chapter of your life that God has already closed. He didn't remove them to hurt you. He removed them to protect the new thing He's growing inside you. Because certain seeds can only take root in quiet soil. Certain callings can only take shape when the noise dies down. And you've been in that quiet, haven't you? Late nights where prayer feels like talking to a ceiling? Days where you scroll past everyone else's highlight reel and wonder why your life looks nothing like that? Moments where you genuinely question whether God sees you at all. But here's what I want you to hold on to. God is not ignoring you. He is not confused about your situation. He is not slow. He is working. And the fact that you're still standing, still seeking, still showing up even when it's hard, that's not weakness dressed up in spiritual language. That's faith, real faith, the kind that doesn't need a crowd to stay standing. The people who end up carrying the most weight in this world are usually the ones who spent the most time in rooms nobody else was invited into. That room might be your bedroom at 2 a.m. It might be a season of grief nobody understood. It might be a failure that cost you your confidence. But God was in that room with you. He was watching how you handled the weight when there was no applause, no recognition, no one to pat you on the back. And what He saw in you in that room, that's what qualified you for what's coming next.
You have to understand that the chosen path is not the easy path. It never has been, but it is the purposeful one. Every cut, every disappointment, every door that's shut in your face, it was God's hands on the chisel shaping something in you that comfort never could. You cannot manufacture that kind of depth in a person. You can only earn it by going through things that most people run from. And you didn't run. That says something. Not to people, they may never know, but it says something to God. And honestly, His approval is the only kind that holds up when everything else falls apart. So if your life looks different from everyone around you, if the road you're on feels lonelier than it should, if the pace of your breakthrough feels slower than you can stand, I need you to hear this. God is not behind schedule. He is right on time. His timing is not cruel, even when it feels that way. It's surgical. He knows exactly what still needs to happen in you before what He's promised to you can arrive, without destroying you. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not crazy for feeling called to something you can't fully explain yet. You are being prepared. And the day is coming, maybe sooner than you think, when every piece of this season is going to make perfect sense. When the isolation becomes the foundation, when the silence becomes the sermon, when the people who watched you disappear into this quiet place see what God brings out of it, and they won't have words for it, but you will, because you were there for every moment God was shaping it. Keep going. The preparation is almost done.